Poma zamne yudukagi te den chodo number soda tananji ya apayuna juyebe ne podo number so chamolo la yangi tale samti shugyu tedan chapchi tini siyan kashi jushunde jo jilundi na tanayam di kenjine zamne yudukagi chiso tsama tadunga nazo baji nando suswa yinzang rangre tachi choba yintiyangi Doshi yengenchu ta telateni ti nyange manaro nang shui tingen gewe kuma yins chi sonaji te tulu jane tingen kanchona yang gewe tos ju utubzu jude hajan kechembali pena lamle chimbi na yang satan chang tobo tu hondu zaza chego bananji tingen denda wuchi tam te hondu rang la tuni chiwa metabata covid dunga yane yamdo tusam je go chik tin teda nyamdo gewa drubju tipo nanju ni jana tuni cham hinje go nanju dedu tonglen ji minam chonang go ju otende yenzang tinzo misukane chonang go ba yenzang chenjule jinya dunga yundene choge tepa sewaji kowa pala hinje ki dilan zemshin kelaga sonaji samne thurayang tagarang ta nga raba shugyu tenda indu ta namba kundu tenda bichi nyamji nangoju ni chebardu ta gendem bada choje pumache nyamdu soso dijondang panamde nandu di gewate hajang tupchembore de indu talenta tujidu kong sosone다 manam chimbo sotobi tangi rekushuyu matsu jindu chitang manam so manam de songyore de inde tela tambo manam inde tsudin chenang goju hajang ke chambare kahishana te gona tene manam chinchu malopaji yongyor manam sobe kap chame tume nangyor ti nane ta mangbuchi ngware chitang ngwa tang manam ji chepate ta gewaji chunje to che maji chi mato ji chepa me chang kare ta nge chi sana chanong kan chungwa de chi shubi na ngwa tang manam ni bote 운종을 제거하지 누구 텐수 호와 집에가 다 개차강 사요버데 다파 땅자밤 회자버다 누구 텐주 베나다 파 운종을 하지 되니 하남 타베가요 개차 가츠주츠 사투 지자바나지 ji su lenju yu zibanaji retenju benata utsu ubanaji ta tendam tu demane tobju kaya mela tetene pa当下就接干没本了，我这样的工作的他是刚说了过，他也都他去投资有吧，然后研究有吧，然后刚浪着把去拍当就有吧，那些，真这个去那么假如我印象，这代表他们的没了话引起，送下吧，他引真送，他我这。다 가서 더 쉬고로 인지 다 레년기 괜찮네 레년데 바차데 하장 투다다 텔레 때니 다 나wan테 나wan인바 뭐만 쳤네 니 나wan텔라 벤진 나쇼장 tini ta donation nando Oje, nang tu yore. Tanda shudu tapen talengi di niyam janda wajila chajana yo. Nawan yinba tini ngo manchubi kienchi ni ta dunga shuna mendu oje tanda chigna na. Nega tubur. Tanda yendu ta sanji chansangi ta tujila teni nga tsu chi nawan yinba ngon chobi chedu 동랭지 냠래네 다 우주지네 진짜 많다 뭐왜 탐컨된죠电脑 인자 당가서 려당바바 다 지바 나오시고래 땡가서 말람 데베가 타니데 밀로와인 텐진은 tel라 이체 템보 나오고지 들리진 않더베이나 그냥 토자라나 마바데 되니 조직 레는 토그리 고네 네면은 담는 거기 그래도 더나지 뭔가저 달래담법에 모아집에 갈래요 타니 밀어버렸더니 이치나네 탑절 안 하면 어때요 파와 마준로와 심진 탐지기 치 땅나 쉬고로 온다 그래서 왜나 근데 대다도 루지 유비 윤센데 된담도 나온 나we 동바 야나 나we 지 호সম지 동나야 텐종 로아메 벤네라 투디여죠 테라 이치난고여 텐다 송장 다 말람 초베가 니레니레 소소 드정게다지 네드바 얘라 덤바슈나면도 얘라 제바슈나면도 강나나야 신데 차청와시 소망기여레 근데 다 게자 랍침버데 로와심진 탐질라 파 회나네 되니 인자는 유튜브구나 다 내름 데터비 다 징인지 나와 강샤디여 버데 되니 말리바 요도 노트바다 되니 펜바단 데빈 존에 산지기 템바름 보지 다시 예토바다 되니 텔레 때니 인도 탐지기 다 유름보고 먹어봐 텐통 나가잖아요 되니 제가 저기 랑전 자투비 제도 진행 호화당 그럼 나온 거죠. 바나지 다 미번매비 뭐왜 게탐나네 근데 난 토베이나 틴텔라 틴점바카딘 징기 텔라 라나메비 호화 인체 송제여죠 대마지 tin이 담바카모체 샬라양 눈두마치지 겨와 대양 뭐지 겨와인치 송주여죠 다 사범매비 최지인 디네츠데 당한전도비 로레야 지다와인지 샤투고 메나요 대슈디다지 호웨파 두지 메나요 다 롬체라 라나메비 된담베 겨와디 천제도 이제 나네 장지 랑지 남다 대와시비 님비팅도 니 장자 로버지티마 세토베 세토바다 더나지 장데 장지테양 문섬도 사비체도 티니 호와난주데 다 드레지 난토베이나 다 때문에 라나메베 호와인 지송지여레 대인데 당한지 참에 직 뉴바 강유지 고네 지 가점 측정도 마송을 고네 말람 난주데 응원에 개침벌에 된죠 원텐다 인자 타 넘버 2 거바당 Ti miyu tetso tante ngi chik rob tsum chi shuja pate chik namba chu tula tupin sunang gi yuena ne thorang tula jana ne tini khong so se lejeba namba chuyang thona ji genku nang ro chi shuyu aso tuchena.
Hello, my dear Dhamma friends from around the globe. I would like to wish you all well, and at the same time, I would like to take this opportunity to share with you a few of my thoughts on Dhamma practice in general, and in particular, the practice of aspirations. I've just said a few words in Tibetan on the subject, and I will now do my best to convey these notions of mine in English, of course, in my own way. They revolve mainly around the topic of changing for better, improving ourselves. I feel that ordinary sentient beings like ourselves, even though we aren't that good at recognizing change, we use or we practice the idea of change every day. But if I dare say, often in a wrong, self-defeating way. How? I think that almost all of us share an innate wish and hope that I want to become a better person. It is there in almost everyone, and it generally manifests in the form of a desire to increase our power, fortune, and fame, the usual worldly criteria by which we measure goodness, success, and improvement. And the current pandemic has yet again given rise to the same kinds of wishes or aspirations. We want to make things better, become fitter and healthier. And we have the fervent wish to overcome this challenge and go back to a state of normalcy as quickly as possible. We even tend to approach Buddhist practice in the same way. The understanding we have of Buddhism leads us to believe that aiming for enlightenment for ourselves and for others means that we need to become better. And so we wish for ourselves and others to become better people, free of emotions and ignorance, poverty, disease, and any kind of misfortune. So it is easy for us to develop a misconception where we feel that the Buddhist method in some ways echoes our wish to become a better person. This occasion, the Kagyu Monlam, where we are going to aspire together, hopefully in the ways of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, could give us a chance to wonder about certain things. Why do we want to get better? Why do we want to improve our health? And why do we want to get to whatever post-pandemic state or place or world we imagine there to be. I would like to take this opportunity to share some of my thoughts about this dilemma. According to my understanding, the awakened ones or the Buddhas never meant their knowledge and the experience they have gained and shared with us as a way of becoming better in any sense. That was never the intent. Nevertheless, to us, when we look at their lives and the teachings that they have shared, that's exactly what it looks like. That they managed to become better people themselves and are now showing us the way to do that. That could be a reason why, after many, many years of practice, we sometimes feel that we have not gotten anywhere at all, and instead may even have gone backwards. It is important for us, both life in general and especially in the case of the current pandemic, not to fall into despair because we feel that we have failed in our efforts to get better and get trapped in a vicious circle, because if you give in to that, if it'll not benefit us. On the other hand, this feeling could serve as a cue that there may be a lot more to Buddhism than we have understood so far. Again, this is not meant to put more pressure on us by implying that we have been wasting the precious opportunity to understand the Buddha Dharma. All it means is that we have not yet reached the end of the road, so to speak, that there is more to understand about the Buddha Dharma than we thought. That it is far more subtle than we thought, or in other words, that it is far less serious than we thought. Of course, it is normal for us to want to feel better, healthier, and of course, it's normal for Buddhists to want to become enlightened. But to give away the punchline right from the start, the thing is that there is no one who can become better or healthier. No one who can get enlightened. So it's that very idea that is blocking us. If you truly want to become enlightened, it's that feeling, that very feeling, that is blocking us from getting enlightened. It is to remedy that confusion that in Buddhism we have this concept called Buddha nature, which is meant to provide us with a breather, a sense of hope. But is it something real? Is it something tangible? Is it really there? Well, even the fully awakened Buddhas have never seen it. They know that in absolute, there is no such thing as Buddha nature. They understand that it is just a concept. Yet, that very concept is very helpful, even though it's a concept. It gives us a cue to wake up. That Buddha nature is often described as the ground of our being, in the sense that if you have a ground to walk on, then you can walk. And whatever appears on this ground, the Buddhas describe it as spontaneously appearing, abrupt, manifesting out of nowhere without absolute origin. Yet, when the conditions are present for any of these concepts, these appearances, good or bad, positive or negative, to arise, they appear to us as if they were real. And when we see appearances that we cannot understand and make sense of, such as afflictions, loss and disease, we want to clear them. We want to get rid of them and give rise to the notion of wanting to become a better person, wanting to improve. In order to help us clear this doubt and confusion, the awakened ones have shown and conveyed that the method to vanquish these erroneous concepts is to focus on and utilize another concept called wisdom. This wisdom is presented as a potential in ourselves, and it is developed through practices such as the very aspiration practice we are going to do or we are going to perform over the next few days. However, the Buddhas have also conveyed that these wisdom methods are equally spontaneous, that they are also concepts, just like the erroneous concepts of ego. Nevertheless, they are very useful when it comes to diminishing unhealthy concepts. Therefore, both confused concepts and wisdom are equally spontaneous, equally abrupt. Nevertheless, if we apply one of these seemingly opposite things to remedy the other, it clears away confusion. Why? Because once you discover that both the thing you want to remedy and the remedy itself are both concepts, they simply disappear. An example to illustrate this would be rubbing two sticks of wood together to create the spark for a fire, which will then consume both the sticks. And the ground for both of these concepts is none other than you, me, us. Whether we call it ego or whether we call it Buddha nature, it is this neutral base that has the potential to manifest everything. Positive, negative, good, bad, left, right, and so on. So although Buddha nature is a concept, it's a useful idea to use, useful concept to use. although there is no such thing as a becoming a better person or becoming enlightened, nevertheless, if we want to play with that concept, work with that concept, and see where it goes, then the idea of sentient beings and ourselves having a potential called sort of like primordial potential, one could say, called Buddha nature, is then very helpful. It helps us to discover that there is no need to become enlightened, yet conceptually it is possible. I have always conveyed to our fellow Dharma practitioners not to take the Buddhist methods too seriously. This, however, does not mean that you should not practice them. I'm simply saying that, or implying that, there is no point in taking them too seriously. But by all means, utilize them to the fullest, thoroughly, without doubt or hesitation. And if you do it in that way, you can clear away confusion. And so, if we are able to practice in this way, then it is possible to, as it were, gain something, though that something is almost impossible to name. Of course, the most obvious and preferred choice of name, I suppose, is enlightenment, the awakened state. But these are still just words. But in terms of what we can really gain out of it, in case we have a fervent wish to gain something, I believe it would be correct to say that on this ground of being, you can clear away confusion. That's the best we can get, and maybe that's all we need to get, the clearing away of confusion. Whether we name it seeing the Dhammakaya or realizing Buddha nature, all we are really gaining or getting is the clearing of concept, both the confused concept and the wisdom concept. And when that job is done, or that work is accomplished, the wisdom itself claims no credit, asks for no gratification. It simply disappears, and all we are left with is this state of no confusion. And so, during the Kagyu Monlam, what we are trying to do for ourselves is to clear away confusion. It's not really about becoming better at anything. There is no point, and there is no need. But maybe there is a point in clearing away confusion, affliction. Practicing the methods in such a way is equivalent to wishing for the longevity and flourishing of such methods, precious methods, for the ceasing of all unfavorable conditions, such as disease and disasters, both natural and man-made, and for the blossoming of all goodness. So I hope that all of you will be able to join with me in this prayer with that attitude, without having to succeed in what we aspire to. Thank you very much for listening.